Longer video about merchandising and display for original artists who are unknown and struggling. Okay, this is who you are. You are unknown, struggling. What else? You are emerging. Life is a process. If you want to refresh yourself, if you want to wake up in the morning fresh, reborn, because theoretically, your brain works very hard at night when you sleep. You don't rest when you sleep. You can rest in meditation. Big difference. To discipline your mind, to empty it completely with no thoughts. That's when you learn about the universe. When you sleep, you have fucking nightmares because your body, your liver, is cleaning up all the nicotine, all the shit. I don't sleep. I sleep 4 hours. So nicotine doesn't get cleaned up, so it damages nerves in the end of my feet. It's called peripheral neuropathy. I am in perpetual pain. I need to move my feet or else I'm going fucking crazy. It's impossible to fall asleep. So let's go back to visual merchandising and display. I had 2 years of propaganda arts in Warsaw University, and the professors, the old guys, they were the masters of Polish poster in 1950s and 60s, which was world-leading poster. If you know anything about graphic arts and posters and propaganda arts, you will realize that Nazi and Soviets and Chinese had developed everything advertising is using today in America. There's nothing new. So let's start from the beginning. How do we make a successful video if we're visual artists? Video needs motion because it has this depth. So when I'm making a slideshow like this, or even if it's a photograph and I'm with my face moving, talking, it's not the same. There is no impression of life. There is no opportunity to show, to take the mind of a viewer into your studio. Literally. Like you're sharing a glass of wine and having a real conversation. Well, in your case, you didn't have many studio visits, so try to get studio visits. Invite your friends. One at a time. One at a time. So they don't vomit. And don't drink too much. And develop your talking skills to your friends. They're your lab rats. When you're an artist, the world is a fucking lab rat. You need to make connections with the principles of the society. Politicians, political powers, and business powers. Because these people are the ones who need you, who want you, and who can afford you. Other people can buy, $20 posters. They love what they see, right? They understand it, and they get it black and white lithograph. Pencil signed, so it's original, so it's number 46 out of 1,000. You make $10,000 by signing 1,000 pages. Easy money. I think it's quite easy. So, what do we do in the basement grandmother let us use for free? We're 16-year-old, 23-year-old. We live in a dorm. We're visual artists, students, how do you call it? Unfortunately, colleges in the United States are not providing quality classical education. For 2 years, I learned technology, chemistry of paints. How to do everything to do with oil paints, acrylics, all the pigments, smell them, touch them, shit them, you understand? Plus sculpture, plus ceramics, plus graphics. I didn't have time to sleep. Besides being, very passionate about what I'm doing, being a real addict of the process. So your objective in life as an artist is to stay humble. Because you have nothing to show, really. You're standing on the shoulders of giants. And every day you get older, and every day you realize how little you are. By comparing yourself to Leonardo, Michelangelo, compare yourself to the best. Don't compare yourself to local watercolor society. No. Ask yourself a question. Why this painting? This particular image people pray to for 500 years. They come, they fucking drop on their knees, stunned, meditate. Their minds get lost. They start thinking about past, future, present. Then they stop thinking. They start asking questions in their head. What is this? What is this bridge? What does her smile mean? Oh, so enigmatic. Ooh. Steal it, burn it, cut this, splash paint on it. How many emotions? For how many years? 500 years, millions of people. That's quadrillions, gazillions emotions and words spoken of one image. One image took 15 years to create. But a very interesting guy, come to think of it. Grew up almost orphaned. His father made him half orphaned. Leonardo da Vinci is like a fucking weirdo. Just like myself. You should read his letter of his personal recommendation, like hire me to Duke of Milan. All bullshit. I'm a military engineer. I can build airplanes and tanks. I can build fortifications. And by the way, I paint beautiful paintings, and I have some recommendations. The Duke of Florence is my customer. Portrait, oh yes. So this Duke in Milan says, yeah, we need to go to war. We need somebody who makes guns. And guess what? He got to Milan, got a job, good job. The Duke of the Milan was taking care of the dukeship for 10 or 20 years because the kid was supposed to take over, but the kid was small to be a duke, so his uncle, the Duke of Milan, got into wars with Florence, with France. French invaded shit. This is how Mona Lisa ended up in Paris. What am I talking about? About Leonardo. Why am I talking about Leonardo? Something bad is happening in my mind after divorce, after the depression. I forget what I was thinking a minute ago. Okay, the reason for this video is because I, Andrey Bogoslowsky, would like to teach you something that works for me. And it's fairly simple, but you need to pay attention to the process of thinking. It's very practical. It's like my grandfather, the carpenter, I saw him with my own eyes, pulling out those nails, handmade iron nails. When he was building boats in the 30s and 40s, when my father was born in Russia on the bank of the river Volga, there were no nails. There were not like a place to go and buy a box of nails. If you manage to bribe somebody and get you a box of nails, and police will hear about it, they will know you're running private enterprise, and they will come to check on you. And my grandfather was making 5 boats a year, they told me, in 1940s and 50s, and he adopted more kids because his best friend got killed in Second World War, and my grandfather became a widower, and then he adopted this woman, the wife of his best friend, and my father was already 16, right? So what am I talking about? It so invention comes from practical solution to ancient problem. What is the ancient problem? The ancient problem, how to survive today and tomorrow. How not to have a fear of dying tomorrow. How to survive. That's the most ancient problem. We pick up rocks, throw at the predators for 8 million years. That's why we can throw rocks. I'm real good at it. I was 8 years old. That night I hated my school so much, so parents are fighting. It's 2 o'clock at night. I walk 3 blocks, pick up rocks, and throw at my school windows. The night watch releases 2 German shepherds. I ran away up on the tree, from the tree onto the roof of the garage, and climbed down the tree back home, 2nd floor. So I know throwing rocks is a weapon. It's a very powerful weapon till today, okay? And it came as an invention to make it sharp, to cut meat, right? Think about it. Genius. The stone axe invention changed everything. Do you understand? The hand adapted to throwing rocks. This thumb is different than chimpanzee. I'm talking about this evolution because the big question is also, what increments do I evolve? Am I much different today than last week? And in order to make these incremental observations, I would like to figure out the pattern, how I evolved, or how society evolved, my family evolved, what really happened, and what's going to happen next. I love to speculate. It's unreasonable, I know it, because mathematically it should not be even calculated because it's infinite. To calculate infinite possibilities doesn't make sense, because you will never have the number of the possibilities, because the choices are infinite. That's the problem with the destiny. So I'm trying to figure out why certain things happen in my life. The most bizarrely cosmic, impossible. I'm not going to get into details. By analyzing my past, I literally realized if I was there a minute later, I would never meet my second wife, neither my first wife. The children would not be born, or the adopted kids would not have a father. Think about it. So unpredictable events, what was the chance that I arrived in New York in August 88 with not a word in English, and 2 weeks later, after working at the Russian moving company, no English required but no tips, minimum wage, not enough to pay rent and food, I realized I speak Spanish, and half of New York speaks Spanish. I made Spanish friends right away in the neighborhood. I started a job with this Israeli guy, locksmith, Mickey Shapiro, Iraqi Israeli, and we became friends, and I said, I'm an artist. A few weeks later, I showed him a couple paintings, and he paid me $250. I was making a week $250, helping this Puerto Rican cocaine addict, Ziggy, a master of locksmith. With closed eyes, he was changing high-security locks with the speed of light. I didn't know what his hands were doing, and he was talking at the same time. So we get in back to the car, he pulls out cocaine, and he sniffs the shit. I didn't try. He didn't offer anyway, but, scary shit. I was there, in the car. He was driving. I do have driver license, but... And then I, started printing on t-shirts. Then I tell Mickey, the Israeli guy, I had a vision, I had a dream last night. Before I fall asleep, I used to, and I still do, have these bizarre visions. So it's this split second between asleep and non-asleep. Something waves in my consciousness, and then I go into sleep. And the vision was t-shirts with Splash Jackson Pollock paint on it. And I'm already using acrylics, right? I already bought them. And I can paint on fabric. So Mickey says, let's go to Easter Lower Side and buy a couple dozen, which is 12 t-shirts, and you will paint and go on the street and sell, because I saw those peddlers on Saturday and Sunday in Soho. So I thought, well, it's not going to take long. I spoke English like this. Hello, Andrey, my name, Russian. Yes, hello, nice to meet you, thank you, goodbye, good night. That's all I spoke. I was going to night school for immigrants Why am I talking about this bullshit? This is not autobiography. So we're setting up here a display. The point I'm trying to make, the painting behind me is for sale. It's a lot of money. And the person who is watching it, they know it's a lot of money because it's fucking huge. Because the drawing you're working on down here is $350, you understand? You're sweating out, you're redoing it a million times, because you're chasing for the truth, looking for a symbol. So the idea is that to have this neat environment, and even to be zoomed in somehow, and at the same time, see my hands doing the drawing. Do you understand? Doing this and talking about this. So the action will be here. We're going to set up some smoke, and Buddha talk. I'm developing this character with the bolt in his head. Hello, Andrey, I got a job. I'm working at TikTok. What's TikTok? You work at TikTok? Are you an executive? No, it's a minimum wage job. So this is my Buddha reincarnation character, if you wish. Buddha is gone. Come on, it's like fucking 1 ton. I'm not gonna bring it to my little cozy place. Some kid wanted to buy it. It was years ago when Buddha went famous on TikTok. I mean, this voice, right? And the whole shit about Buddhism. I know all the religions of the world, so if you have any questions, ask. There are many concepts of reincarnation, for instance. And this is what this symbol is about. How important is reincarnation and the concept of rebirth? Well, it's at the root of Christianity and all the Mediterranean religions, which come from Zoroaster, which Chinese are talking about reincarnations. In quantum physics, all the sciences believe in reincarnation. All the quantum physics sciences don't believe in God, but they believe in reincarnation. Why? They know something?